The thrill of victory. The Kitchener Rangers are the best in junior hockey, lifting the Memorial Cup last night in Kelowna, BC, kicking off the celebration of a generation. Good evening. It has been called hockey's toughest trophy to win. The OHL champion Kitchener Rangers have done what 60 other teams couldn't do this year. They've brought home the Memorial Cup. It's their third cup in franchise history and first in 23 years. Earned in a thrilling final late last night where a clearly stated goal was transformed into a reality.
Glorious and free.
The task was clear. The stakes were high. Win this game and take home junior hockey's biggest prize.
Rangers and Silvertips.
The OHL champion Kitchener Rangers and WHL champion Everett Silvertips both bringing incredible records into the Memorial Cup. But the Rangers undefeated at this tournament and since early April.
And that will bounce to the far side. Now sent towards the goal and they score! Rangers strike first!
Would score first, a lead that would evaporate seconds later.
DuPont keeps it, rebound, they score! How's that for an answer?
And almost again.
Let's see what the call is.
After review, it was determined that the puck was batted in. We have no goal.
On a goal that was ultimately disallowed. The Rangers lighting up the board through the second and third periods, winning 6-2.
And as time ticks down, that'll do it. Kitchener claims the crown as the kings of junior hockey. For the third time in franchise history, the Rangers are Memorial Cup champions.
And tasting the reward of a season where the stated goal was no less than this trophy. A team that did win it all.
Everything. It's the city, it's the boys, the staff, my family. It's literally everything. This is what you dream of as a kid, especially a Canadian kid. Memorial Cup is just like the Stanley Cup, so it's awesome.
Led by head coach Jussi Ahokas, known for years in European hockey circles, and now the first international coach to win a Memorial Cup.
We wanted to make this organization the best junior organization in the world, and we did that, and just an unbelievable feeling.
And built by general manager Mike McKenzie, who midway through the season brought Memorial Cup veterans Jared Woolley and Sam O'Reilly on board. O'Reilly named the OHL and Memorial Cup MVP.
What does it mean to be in the same category as Brad Richards, Corey Perry, and now Mitch Marner?
Yeah, I've been really fortunate with the teams I've been a part of and the coaches I've been able to learn from, because I wouldn't be here today without all my good buddies and good coaches I've had.
A team acknowledging teamwork. And while some will go on to play in the pros, all will savor this moment for a lifetime.
Almost as soon as that celebration, the team boarded a plane and brought the cup home, where some fans were waiting early this morning. Hometown spirit that also filled the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium last night for a watch party. CTV's Karis Mapp had a chance to speak with some of those fans. A lot of folks are very tired today, Karis, but you'll take us through those moments now.
That's right, Tony. Although they couldn't be in Kelowna for the big win, the ones I spoke with said watching the game in their home arena was special. Some even woke up bright and early, like you mentioned, and we're back at the Aud this morning to welcome the team home. Distance wasn't an issue for these fans who watched the Kitchener Rangers win the Memorial Cup inside the team's home rink.
Christian Humphreys put the last puck in the net, in the empty nets, and it was like the brain clicked in that it was going to happen, but the heart didn't fully believe it yet.
Roughly 2,000 people at the Aud for the big moment.
We all wanted to be together in that historic building to cheer and, yeah, shed a tear. There was some welling up at one point for sure. The Rangers fans that came out to the Aud, they didn't want to be anywhere else but there to celebrate a Memorial Cup.
Fans who've been waiting almost 2 decades to see their team back in this tournament.
We've been waiting 18 years for this, and the city is behind the team.
Love that was felt back in Kelowna, where the cross-country celebrations united.
They showed a live feed from the Odd up on the big screen in Kelowna, and it was so cool. Like, it was truly like we were all cheering together.
A front row seat for the parents of the Rangers captain, Cameron Reed.
This is the best organization with the best CHL fans, and it's awesome.
Truly a dream come true for these boys. I'm going to try not to cry. It's something that they have worked at since the moment that each of them joined the team.
Right after the win, the team was on its way home.
We went out after, and then I received a text like really shortly after from Cam just saying, hey, we're on the plane.
With a warm welcome at the Waterloo Region Airport. And that was only the beginning. Around 30 early risers welcomed the team bus outside the Odd.
I went to the watch party, and then everybody's talking, like we're going to come out, go home for a few hours, get some sleep, and then turn around and come back at 4:30 in the morning and wait for the players.
A celebration that was worth the wait.
Dan Nanofsky, he brought the trophy off the bus, and he had no T-shirt on, and he raised it over his head, and the fans were going crazy and saying, "Let's go Rangers." I just had goosebumps, like just thinking about it.
A feeling that these fans say will live on for a long time. So, Tony, likely a lot of people catching up on sleep right about now, and that includes Rangers players who we are told are getting some much-needed rest after that big win.
Yeah, no kidding. A big win and then a red-eye flight. Wow, what a whirlwind 24 hours. Karis, thank you. CTV's Karis Mapp joining us. And the party is going to continue tomorrow when there is a parade and rally planned for downtown Kitchener. Let's head over there right now and join CTV's Krista Simpson live at Carl Zare Square. That's a place that knows a party, Krista, and there's going to be one there tomorrow.
Well, Tony, hundreds of people gathered here just a couple of weeks ago to send the Rangers off to Kelowna to compete in the Memorial Cup. And it's expected even more will gather here tomorrow night to celebrate them winning that championship. This was the scene 23 years ago in May 2003 when the last Kitchener Rangers team to win a Memorial Cup celebrated with a parade, the champions arriving on a double-decker bus to the delight of the thousands of fans who gathered to watch in downtown Kitchener. Tuesday night, it's time for the community celebration for this year's team. People are invited to line King Street between Queen and Yonge Streets for a parade, starting at 6 in the evening.
And as the parade passes them by, encourage them to actually join in the parade and walk down King Street as part of the parade for the festivities that'll get underway here once the team and, of course, the Memorial Cup arrives here.
The rally in Carl Zare Square at City Hall set to feature player appearances, some speeches, and music by the Golden Keys. There will be free hot dogs and water for the first 2,000 fans, thanks to Moose Winooski's, as well as free commemorative posters donated by Coburg.
So all around, it's going to be a real celebration of this team that's given so much to the community.
Beloved by loyal fans and making new ones along the way during a season like no other.
I think this season has just seen a team that's come together like so few teams have in the past, and really take the season from beginning right to the very end and bring the Memorial Cup home.
And in an effort to make the community celebration accessible to as many as possible, there will be free parking at City Hall and other nearby parking garages and lots in the city after 4 p.m. on Tuesday. And if you're wondering about Rangers Championship merchandise, we're told it is not available yet, but they are hoping to have it at the Rangers Authentic store at the Odd sometime soon. Tony.
And that'll be scooped up when they get it. Okay, Krista, thank you. CTV's Krista Simpson live at Carl Zare Square in downtown Kitchener. Okay, time for a first check on the weather. Let's head over to Ashley Bacon for all the latest now. I was watching the Rangers win the Memorial Cup last night as the sun was setting, and I was thinking, I can't remember a time when I was watching a hockey game and it was so hot with the sun shining through my window. Felt like summer yesterday.
The amount of watch parties on decks yesterday, Tony, was awesome. On patios as well. I mean, can anyone complain when we're talking hockey and it's the 1st of June? Not bad. Congratulations once again goes out to the Kitchener Rangers on your big win. We're all so proud of you. But what I think a lot of people at home want to know, Tony, is what the weather is going to be like for the parade tomorrow. And the good news is it's going to be great. Now, I'll have those details a little later in the show, but right now let's take a look at our radar of what's happening right now. Not a lot. We're seeing pretty clear skies, a cloud here and there, but overall conditions pretty perfect. 21 degrees out there, an east by southeast wind at 20 kilometers an hour. As we get into the overnight conditions, you might want a little jacket, but if you're headed out right now, it is still beautiful throughout southwestern Ontario, Tony. But tomorrow, I'll have those details a little later in the show.
All right, Ash, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Another shooting is under investigation in Kitchener. This one early this morning in the Chicopee area where a garage door was left with several bullet holes. CTV's Jeff Pickle joins us now with more on this. And, you know, Jeff, the sequence of events here, a lot of similarities to a shooting that we reported on less than 2 weeks ago.
Well, and Tony, in both cases, no one was hurt on the May 21st shooting in the early morning hours. Someone pumped off several rounds at a home on Dune Village Road. Last night's shooting, a similar story, but police say at this point there's nothing linking the two shootings. In the early morning hours on Beaumont Crescent in Kitchener's Chicopee area, several loud bangs waking the neighborhood.
When I checked the time when I went back to the bed, it was like 2:45, I think.
And then around 2:50 or 2:51 a.m., we heard some sound. Looks like a gunshot.
By morning, however, it was clear with multiple bullet holes visible in a garage door.
Officers responded. They did locate a residence that had several shots that had been fired through the front entrance. Our General Investigations Unit is investigating at this time.
Police say they believe this was not a random act.
So we do believe this is a targeted incident, and we're investigating it as such.
No one was injured. Police say a dark-colored SUV was seen speeding away. The shooting overnight similar to a shooting on May 21st when surveillance footage caught someone firing several shots at a home on Dune Village Drive. Once again, no one was hurt, and police suspected it was also a targeted attack. Despite the similarities, police say there is no evidence to suggest the two shootings are linked.
We are investigating this as a targeted incident. However, we do not believe that it's related to any of the other types of incidents that we've seen in the area recently.
As for residents on Beaumont Crescent,
I mean, of course, I'm concerned. I have little kids like, 5 and 8 and 16.
They say with a high number of families with young children, they hope this is the last shooting on their usually quiet crescent.
If we need to be more cautious or maybe more, be more vigilant to our kids and surroundings and all because of these incidents.
Again, the call is out for anyone who might have dash camera footage from that area or any other information that can help identify the shooter. Tony?
Okay, Jeff, thank you. CTV's Jeff Pickle with the latest on that shooting investigation. A home in Brampton is at the center of a police investigation tonight after a newborn baby was found dead inside. The child's mother, a 23-year-old woman, is now facing a criminal charge. CTV's Janice Golding is in Brampton with more.
When I came out, I see the whole place full of police.
It was just after 8 p.m. last night.
There was like 5 police cop cars. I just thought what's happening.
What happened? Chilling even for seasoned investigators.
This is a horrific scene to stumble upon as a first responder.
What emergency responders discovered when they arrived at a home near Kennedy and Williams Parkway in Brampton was the body of a newborn.
What I can confirm at this point is that the 23-year-old mother of the infant has been taken into custody and has since been charged with concealing the body of a child after birth.
Police say a resident of the home made the call saying they discovered the dead infant, but the mother was not home when police arrived, located instead at a local hospital.
What we think happened is that the female that's been arrested and charged sought medical attention where we located her and arrested her, and the child remained at the home.
Police say there are so many questions that remain unanswered. Where the child was born, when they were born, if they were born alive, or if the mother even knew she was pregnant.
We've seen, sadly, in cases like this before, that this is a surprise pregnancy. People didn't know. So all of these factors are going to be considered by investigators and ultimately by the courts.
Neighbors we spoke with say they don't know the woman in custody.
I've never seen anybody look pregnant, so I don't know who have a baby.
Telling reporters the home had too many residents to keep track of.
They're all renters, and it's one of those homes where you have like 10 people, like 20 people living in there. I did see somebody sleeping inside of the garage.
Nonetheless, those who live in the area expressed grief for the deceased infant.
That's tragic.
It should not happen. I have 2 kids, so we raise them, so, we take care of them.
Sad. I feel sad. Yeah.
The investigation continues.
That report from CTV's Janice Golding in Brampton. The search for a missing Hamilton man has now become a homicide investigation. He was first reported missing April 27th, but on Friday, his body was pulled from the waters of Hamilton Harbor. CTV's Rahim Ladani has that story.
We're here at the Hamilton Harbor, and it's in these waters where the body of 48-year-old Marcin Sidor was discovered last Friday morning. About 5 kilometers down is Pier 16. It's located within private property near Stelco Steel Plant, and it was an employee who found Sidor's body. Marcin Sidor was last seen on May 21st. He was first reported missing on May 27th. 2 days later, he was found dead.
At approximately 8 a.m., Hamilton police responded after receiving a report that a body had been located along the shoreline. Officers attended and secured the area. With the assistance of the Hamilton Police Marine Unit, the body was recovered.
Police are not sharing if they believe Sidor was killed in the area or if his body was moved there. Sidor was known to police and was last seen driving a black 2014 Volkswagen Jetta wagon. It belonged to a family member and has still not been found.
Has tinted windows and has the Ontario license plate DFBY071. Marcin was known to be driving this vehicle when he was reported missing.
Police are asking anyone with information about Sidor's death or the car to contact them. Rahim Ladani, CTV News, Hamilton.
A fire that damaged a restaurant in Kitchener over the weekend is considered suspicious. The call came in around 5 a.m. Saturday at a building on Lancaster Street West, bringing 9 trucks from 5 stations. The fire described as significant when crews arrived. No injuries reported, but firefighters remained on the scene monitoring hotspots while inspectors addressed structural concerns and assessed the building. Waterloo Regional Police say the fire is considered suspicious and they're working with fire investigators to find out how and why it started. And 13 people were taken to hospital today when 2 TTC buses collided in Toronto's West End. The CTV News chopper was over the scene at Weston and Lawrence, where the buses collided just before 3 p.m. Paramedics tell us 13 people were taken to hospital, all of them with non-life-threatening injuries. The youngest person is 16. The rest are adults. The cause remains under investigation tonight. Waterloo Region's Food Bank is joining a call for more government action on poverty. Coming up, a national group's new findings about poverty and how many more people could soon be falling through the cracks.
Perfect night ahead to keep those windows open. But what will the parade forecast look like for tomorrow? Those details with your full weather forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news. When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
A national organization representing food banks across Canada is calling for big changes to employment insurance programs. It's one recommendation out of the group's annual poverty report card. And as CTV's Garrett Barry tells us, the group says more Canadians are falling through the cracks of a system that hasn't kept up with the times.
Stocking these shelves and keeping them full has suddenly become a difficult task
for Leslie Burgess and her staff at this downtown St. John's food bank.
We're running out of supplies before the end of the week, whereas, we used to be able to plan, and there's really no way to plan anymore.
Things were pretty stable last year, but now demand has jumped 20% compared to last spring.
It seems like we're every day in an emergency situation.
And at this food bank, like so many others across the country, when demand goes up, donations go down.
Working families are feeling the pinch, donating less and now needing more.
Because their rent is too high and groceries are too expensive and now gas is too expensive.
Not just here, but across the country. That's part of the reason why Food Banks Canada is renewing its call for big changes to the employment insurance program.
We're seeing more people with part-time, casual, or precarious jobs who are struggling to make ends meet, access our services, and they're not covered by the current system.
Gig workers like Uber Eats drivers are falling through the cracks. That's according to Richard Matern, research director at Food Banks Canada, who says payments should be raised and it should be easier for gig and part-time workers to qualify.
We are seeing many people with full-time work as well who are contending with the rising costs of living because their wages aren't rising fast enough.
More benefits for workers would surely help here in St. John's. Leslie Burgess says many of her clients are right now holding on until the first part of the new grocery and essentials benefit comes through on Friday. Garrett Berry, CTV News, St. John's.
And locally, the Food Bank of Waterloo Region says it's not surprised by these findings. They say they've seen a record number of people using the service this year, and they're joining the call for all levels of government to step in. CTV's Colton Weens reports.
Food Banks Canada's poverty report card gives Ontario an overall rating of D- this year. Saying social assistance is not enough to live on, homelessness is becoming normal in Ontario, and rent costs keep rising as protections for tenants are eroding.
I wasn't surprised by the report card at all. The reality is we need to do better.
The report card shows Ontario is overall failing its poverty measures, saying rates for money for food, shelter, and other costs for people in financial need have been frozen since 2018.
So what's happening now in Waterloo Region, but right across the country, is food banks are being turned to for the solution. In April alone, nearly 27,000 people accessed a Hammer program. That resulted in more than 60,000 visits right here in Waterloo Region, which is the highest month on record.
Wilhelm says there's been an over 205% increase in people using food assistance since 2019.
And at the same time, food assistance programs are being stretched to serve more people than ever they have in their history. It can't continue.
The report also shows homelessness in Ontario grew nearly 8% since 2024. 85,000 people are unhoused in the province, with an estimated 23% being youth and children. If nothing changes, the report projects 300,000 people will be unhoused in Ontario by 2035.
That tells us more than that it's a temporary challenge. It's a growing affordability crisis.
And the food bank says rental unit rates in Ontario climbed 54.5% between 2014 and 2023, more than 3 times the legally permitted rate, despite rent controls existing. But anything built after 2018 has no rent control protections at all. The food bank makes several recommendations for Ontario, including ending the 8-year rate freeze on financial assistance and to increase it to inflation-adjusted values. It also recommends full rent control coverage across all rental units regardless of construction date, and to introduce a new poverty reduction strategy with clear, enforceable targets.
This isn't a problem that's isolated in Waterloo Region. We are seeing pressures right across the country.
And while Wilhelm says every level of government needs to help, she and other food bank leaders are in Ottawa this week to call on the federal government for change. Colton Weens, CTV News, Kitchener.
All right, back outside we go, live to downtown Kitchener. A look through the lens of our photographer, Dave Pettit, this hour on a beautiful Monday evening, the first day of June. Everything great, right? Rangers win the Memorial Cup. We've got summer starting this month. How's the weather shaping up? Ashley's back with those answers in a few moments. Also, we're going to go inside a roastery that's taking your morning pick-me-up to heart on this week's edition of Made Right Here. Next, though, how concerning is Canada's technical recession? Some analysis coming up. All right, we're back with Ashley. A new week, a new month.
Isn't it a beautiful way to start it, Tony?
A new season coming up later this month.
A new Memorial Cup championship in the city.
It's great. It's great. The vibe is good. The mood is good today. I was starting to notice last night how late the afterglow is getting after the sunsets, and I was remembering by the time you notice it, you're usually really close to the summer solstice where it all starts going back in the other direction again. And I thought, man, we've only got 21 more days of these late sunsets, so let's soak them up.
Get out and enjoy it. We are just a few minutes away from a 9 p.m. sunset. I will point that out in our almanac a little later, but I think our viewers at home really want us to get into what's happening tomorrow
Yes,
so they know how it's going to look.
Forecast.
Let's take a look outside at where this parade is all going to end up tomorrow, right downtown Kitchener at City Hall. 6 o'clock parade start time. Lots of fun, lots of excitement. Get down and get early because we are going to see, I think, thousands of people show up and support the team, and it's going to be a beautiful day. Mother Nature definitely playing along for tomorrow's festivities. Let's take a look at our futurecast. Little bit of cloud cover, but overall mostly clear conditions through most of southern Ontario. We are going to continue to see clear conditions through the next few hours and into your Tuesday, as well into Wednesday. So you will need sunglasses tomorrow. It could be a bit bright out there. The sun is expected to be shining. Right now across the country, a very nice day on the west coast, 22 degrees for Vancouver and Prince George. On the other side of the Rockies, though, a little bit cooler there this time today. 9 degrees in Edmonton with some rain, just 7 in Calgary. Last week, they were seeing temperatures closer to 30 degrees, so a big change there. As we move through the prairie provinces, still raining in Saskatoon at 19 degrees. Winnipeg, 24. Thompson, a lot warmer, 29 degrees with a bit of sunshine. As we push further east towards our nation's capital, 22 in Ottawa, Sudbury as well. Quebec City also seeing a bit of rain and 17 degrees. And over on the East Coast, if you think we've got it, you know, a mixed bag of what we've seen this spring, check out St. John's, seeing some flurry activity and just 3 degrees. What a way to welcome in June. Here in Waterloo Region, 21 degrees still out there, so very nice. Windsor, 23, London, 23 as well. Sarnia, the coolest spot in the region at 17, right around that shoreline there. But tonight, things getting down to 7 degrees. Nice day, or evening rather, to keep those windows open, turn the air conditioning off. Clear skies as well. If you like to stargaze, it's going to be a great night for it. Now tomorrow, parade day, 21 degrees, the expected daytime high. So not too hot, not too humid, just right. But it will bring with it a very high UV index of 8. So once again, if you're spending some time outdoors at the parade or just in general, make sure to wear a hat and some sunscreen just to be safe. As Tony and I were just talking, sun setting now at 8:56 p.m. So we're 4 minutes away from a 9 p.m. sunset. So not too bad, and we're right where we should be this time of year when we're talking temperatures. Now check this out. 7-day forecast for Waterloo Region shaping up pretty nice. Temperatures rising once again on Wednesday. 27 degrees expected, 29 for Thursday. And then there is a chance for some rain through the weekend. But let's focus on the good days ahead first. We can worry about the weekend a little later in the week. In Lambton, Kent, Essex, sunny conditions as well for the rest of your week. And look at those temperatures, 25, 28, 31, and 32 to round out your Friday. In southern Georgian Bay, another beautiful week ahead. 17 and sunny for your Tuesday, 27 for both Wednesday and Thursday, 24 for Friday and Saturday, again with a slight chance for rain, but again, we'll worry about that a little later in the week. Okay, let's take a look at today's Weather Watcher picture sent in from Jen. She had a black swallowtail butterfly land on her lilac the other day in beautiful Listowel. Thank you for sharing. Jen, look how pretty and colorful that is.
That's a striking combination of colors.
And
Love
thank
that.
you for telling me what kind of butterfly that was, because I wouldn't have known.
No, nor would I have. And our weather watchers are so perceptive when it comes down to every last detail. So yeah, we always appreciate when you give us Any added context you like with these photos?
Absolutely, and we get so many to choose from. Sometimes I don't get to them the same week you send them, so keep watching because I will try to get to them all as best as I can.
We keep building a stash of them for sure, because we've got some great photographers out there.
Amazing photographers.
Okay, Ash, thank you.
Thank you.
The health of Canada's economy is the subject of hot debate, with the Conservatives saying Mark Carney has plunged Canada into a, quote, liberal recession. New data Friday confirmed we are in what's called a technical recession, but some economists are downplaying the significance of 2 consecutive quarters of falling GDP. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
My work is done.
Mark Carney tries his hand at a home building site, but wasn't taking questions about a recession after Statistics Canada reported Friday Canada's economy contracted slightly for 2 straight quarters. Not from journalists nor opposition in the House of Commons.
While Canadians are starving, losing their jobs and missing mortgage payments, and Mark Carney has created the only G7 economy in a recession, he is hiding from accountability.
Leaving other ministers to answer.
Canada is the most integrated country in the world with the United States. They have declared a trade war on us. This side of the House understands that. We will control what we can control.
The Leader of the Opposition should stop running down Canada and join us.
It's the Liberal Prime Minister that's running down our economy and then running away from accountability for it. Where is he anyway?
Conservatives are calling for an emergency debate on the recession, as Liberals don't seem to all be on the same page in terms of messaging.
I do know that people in my riding are hurting. So I listen to people who talk about housing prices. I listen to people talking about food prices and about incomes that are too low. And so that's what we're working on here.
Not. I'm not. That all indications are that it's shallow and that we're coming out of it. I believe them.
Late this afternoon in the House, the Speaker decided against an emergency debate, saying he doesn't believe it meets the requirements. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Coming up next, a botanical buyer beware. The growing push to warn gardeners about invasive plants before purchasing. An overwhelming majority of Canadian postal workers have voted in favor of a tentative contract agreement. The union says more than 4 in 5 cast ballots in support of the 5-year deal, which includes wage increases in the first 2 years. Canada Post says it is pleased with the outcome and that the deal offers stability and a path to restore confidence in the postal system. The parties are expected to sign the agreement soon after more than 2 years. Sign the agreement soon, I should say, after more than 2 years of labor disputes. Invasive plants are threatening southern Ontario's most sensitive ecosystems, and the source of the problem might be as close as your own backyard. CTV's Daryl Newcomb now on the political push to require warning signs and labels at nurseries.
It's not hard to find invasive species that have escaped backyard gardens and are now threatening London's environmentally significant areas.
Someone probably planted a small English ivy plant years ago, not realizing that it would spread under the fence and into the ESA behind their backyard. It's the same exact plant that I just picked up around the corner at a store that isn't labeled to warn the consumer this could cause environmental and property damage.
Dr. Brendan Samuels is a member of the Environmental Stewardship and Action Community Advisory Committee at City Hall.
Lesser periwinkle, or Vinca minor, another invasive introduced species.
It's recommending council consider requiring labels, signs, or point-of-sale handouts at nurseries to educate gardeners about which plants are invasive, and if they are purchased, that they should be contained in a pot.
The best way of preventing is by educating people so that we don't accidentally plant the wrong thing in the first place.
When an invasive species like goutweed gets established in an ESA, the damage can be total, as it easily outcompetes the native plants. Gardening just half a block from an ESA, Paula Martin believes point-of-sale information would be effective.
For people just like me that I don't know
a lot about it, so I could be educated.
London has 21 ESAs that are home to some rare and endangered species. Removing invasive species after they've become established has proven difficult, time-consuming, and costly.
Invasive species are present in all of our environmentally significant areas, and we do not currently have the resources to remove all of them.
Samuel says the advisory committee consulted with some local independent garden centers and agrees that banning certain plants would be difficult to enforce and could simply result in gardeners driving to neighboring municipalities.
The supply chains for these products are much larger than London, and I would rather not restrict people from acquiring these products that they want, but instead we need to make sure that they're informed about how those products should be used and how they should be disposed of to minimize the risks to the environment and the cost to taxpayers.
The advisory committee's recommendation will be considered at the next meeting of Council's Community and Protective Services Committee. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
All right, recapping our top stories now. Alexandra Hollick's in the studio with us. Kitchener Rangers, they are the best in junior hockey and still riding high off that Memorial Cup win.
That's right, Tony, and the fans are right there with them. For the first time in 23 years, the Blue Shirts were named the best in junior hockey. The Rangers solidified their victory over the Everett Silvertips with a final score of 6-2. They hoisted the Memorial Cup in Kelowna and have now brought it home to Kitchener, where the city will celebrate their historic win with a parade tomorrow evening. Regional police are investigating a shooting that left a Kitchener home riddled with bullet holes. It happened early this morning in the Chicopee area. It's the second shooting in as many weeks where no one was injured, but police are not linking the two incidents at this point. Investigators are urging anyone with video footage of the area to come forward.
And online from our digital team, Alexandra, a story about a distraction theft involving stolen jewelry.
Yes, Tony, police say the suspect stole a woman's gold earrings and bracelets. They also say it happened Saturday afternoon in Kitchener. The victim had her real jewelry swapped for fakes. Police are now looking for the suspects who were in a red sedan at the time. To find out more on this story, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on our CTV News app or to download the app right now. And you can also visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Okay, Alexandra, thank you so much. CTV's Alexandra Hollick live with us. A Waterloo coffee maker is putting its own spin on your daily caffeine fix with locally roasted, ethically sourced coffee. We check out the Tree Coffee House on this week's edition of Made Right Here.
I'm Luis Barrionuevo, founder of the Tree Coffee House, and we specialize in the roasting specialty coffee here in Kitchener. So we opened this business to bring quality coffee to community and connect people through the coffee. Currently, we offer 6 different labels. We have coffee from Brazil, of course, my origin, and we have coffee from Guatemala, Nicaragua, Colombia, and Peru. We always try to blend a few to find what people like the most, but keeping this single origin for those countries, that is key because we really have all the flavors that we have from that specific country. Basically, we storage our coffee in a great facility that has this controlled humidity and also temperature. So our green coffee is stored here. And then we navigate to the roaster process. We select small batches from 6 to 9 kilos. And then we run those roast process through the machine. This is when the magic happens. So you can get a light roast, you can get a middle roast, or you can get a very dark roast. Depends on the way you roast and the flavors that you want to bring to. It takes around 12-15 minutes of the process. And then we direct package the coffee. The process usually takes 1 hour for a few batches. Usually they say, hey, this is different. I can feel the flavor. This smells so good. I want to have in my kitchen. Most of the coffees you choose not because of the flavor that you drink, but because of the smell. So my passion is about how to bring different flavors and smells that bring people different sensations. But my specific passion about doing this is connecting people. I want to keep working hard to really bring more quality coffee, different flavors, different experience. Open the espresso bar to bring a space when people can come and connect to coffee. One of my passions is people, the other is coffee, so why not do this together?
Profiting illegally off the passion of fans. Just ahead, one of the biggest counterfeit sports jersey hauls in Canadian history. It's being called the largest seizure of counterfeit sports jerseys in Canadian history. Investigators say the jerseys were being sold to legitimate retailers as being authentic. And tonight, 2 Ontario men are facing several charges. CTV's Sean Leathong reports.
They represent teams from across the world and here at home. This display by Toronto Police is just a fraction of some 16,000 counterfeit jerseys and 2 World Cup trophies with an estimated value of more than $3.5 million in what police are calling
the largest seizure of counterfeit soccer jersey in Canadian history.
According to police, these jerseys are being sold to legitimate retailers as authentic.
So folks are walking into retail stores thinking that they're buying an authentic piece of, say, a jersey or sporting equipment. They're paying full price as they would if it was authentic, but they're getting a fake counterfeit.
Toronto police say the items came from Amana Trading Company in Mississauga, where international flags are on display outside, along with merchandise in their showroom. Police conducted a search on May 26th, and 2 men were arrested. We spoke to the owner of the warehouse here at 959 Kamado Road. He confirmed that police had attended their business and said that he was instructed by his lawyer not to speak any further. When asked if the 2 people arrested were his employees, he once again said he would rather not say.
Given the size of this seizure, we believe the 2 men were running the scam for some time.
According to Toronto police, they've been targeting crimes that tend to spike close to an event like the World Cup. Lauren Lipkiss from Lipkiss Law, who tipped off police in mid-May, say while retailers may have been unaware, the onus is on all parties involved to be aware of what they're buying and know what to look for.
Well, the first thing is, are there any spelling mistakes on any of the tags or labels? That is the first thing we look at, because very often there are not only grammatical mistakes in the wording, but there are spacing mistakes in the way the words are on the garment.
Remy Jabber of Milton and Waleed Sarhan of Mississauga are facing multiple charges, including fraud over $5,000. They're scheduled to appear in court August 17th. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
Okay, we've got more news coming up, but first let's check in once again with Ashley.
Well, we're in for another beautiful June day. Tomorrow, you're going to need sunscreen, a hat, sunglasses, all of the things to keep your skin safe on another sunny, beautiful day. Those details coming up. E-Talk starts your night off at 7, then back-to-back Big Bang Theory, followed by Hockey Fanatics, the quiz with balls, and cap your night off with The Rookie at 10.
KW's Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Listen all summer for your chance to win. Turn the lights off, carry me home. With Bounce to your backyard.
They changed the promo.
They did.
This is a big day for me.
You know how much Tony loves music. You were very excited there.
Love music. I knew that the second they changed that Bounce promo, I'm going to have to pay more close attention next time because I didn't quite pick up on all 3 of them. So was Waterfall by TLC in there?
TLC was there. I'm not sure what song, though. I didn't quite pick it up either.
All right. Alexandra Hollick's going to be here with your next local news tonight at 11:30 and joins us now with a preview. Alexandra.
Tony, we'll have the latest on a community drug alert issued in Waterloo Region after dozens of suspected overdoses were reported in less than a week. And we'll also take a look at the roster for Canada's senior men's national basketball team that features a key player born and raised right here in Waterloo Region. Tony.
Looking forward to that. Okay, Alexandra, thank you so much. And okay, there was TLC.
There's Blink-182.
There was Blink-182. Yeah. That's right. That's
I don't know the third one, though.
Can't remember the third one. Okay, we're going to have to wait for that to come up again.
Definitely.
Anyway, I digress, as I often do. How's our wake-up weather looking?
It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday. We aren't seeing temperatures rise as high as today, but by 10 a.m., 18 degrees, looking at a daytime high of 21. But keep in mind, with it, a very high UV index is expected of 8. So make sure you are sun safe out there.
And that's the kind of thing we got to start thinking about now, especially with the level of sun we got on the weekend.
Yes.
Wow.
At least the humidity hasn't quite got here yet. Enjoy the cooler evenings while you can.
It's been perfect.
I agree.
It's been perfect. Well, finally for us tonight, a bit of a spectacular sight. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is at it once again. Lava could be seen bubbling up last night. Now, the National Weather Service has said that an episodic fountaining eruption was expected within the summit either Sunday or today.
Now, fountaining episodes typically last less than 12 hours, but ash can remain in the air longer, depending on the wind and weather. The volcano on Hawaii's Big Island has been erupting on and off since late 2024. What a spectacular sight, Tony.
It's remarkable. It really, really is. And, you know, as kind of amazing as a site like that is, you also think right away, knowing what Hawaii's been through with wildfires over the past several years, that you hope that there's no damage there or problems.
Absolutely. I mean, it puts into perspective just the force that Mother Nature truly has on us all, and we really can't do anything to control it.
Nope, we are very small in this world, when it comes to the planet we're dealing with. Anyway, tomorrow, big party in downtown Kitchener. Kitchener Rangers Memorial Cup champions 2026. Do not miss that parade and celebration. And we're going to have special coverage tomorrow night as well at 5 and 6. So we hope you will join us. In the meantime, Alexandra is back with your next local news at 11:30. Have a good night.